Hi, I'm Kathy. Thank you for joining me for another installment of The Adventures of Becky and Kathy. Today, we're going to talk about Becky getting the best horse ever. And so, we've got to take a break away from the elementary school stories. We will not leave them forever because after all, we still have a lot of stories about Becky and her animals that she had at the time. Well, we're going to jump ahead to a story that takes place in junior high school. We will not linger long there because I hated junior high school, but more about that later. But it is appropriate to start a new section involving one of Becky's animals. And so today's story comes from chapter 13. Becky gets the best horse ever. Becky loved horses. When we were 11 years old, she got the best horse ever, Reno. He was a pinto, like little Joe rode on Bonanza. Being my best friend forever and ever and only, Becky decided that he would be our horse. And she gave me a very specific spot on the top of his rear end. It was less than 2 inches in circumference, but it was my spot. The other girls who boarded their horses at Mr. Wyckoff's ranch called each other by their horses' names. Obviously, Becky was Reno, and for at least a short time, I was allowed in the group because I was Spot. All that summer, we rode horseback, bareback, double on Reno. Here's a picture of Becky on Reno. Look at that girl. Look at that beautiful horse. You can't see Spot, but he's there. We'd take a transistor radio and ride down the back roads of town. The Jackson 5 would be singing ABC, it's easy, that's how love can be. Whenever we passed someone on their bikes or in their car, we'd hold up 2 fingers and say, peace. Here's another picture of Becky on her horse. I want you to see that form. Do you see how she's holding herself up on her inner thighs? That's how a real horsewoman rides bareback. Later that summer, we would hold a wedding ceremony between her horse Reno and my dog Dolly. Yes, I eventually got a dog. We picked daisies and gave gifts we found in Mrs. Cochran's hall closet. And I'm sure there was cake involved. Have I told you yet that Becky and I love cake? That summer before junior high was my best childhood summer ever. You know how smells and sounds can transport you back to another time? Well, the smell of leather and horse sweat and the songs of the Jackson 5 took me back to dirt paths next to small town paved roads. And I would need that fullness of joy before stepping completely out of childhood and into my bleak days of junior high. Have I said that I hated junior high? But take heart, girls and boys who are in junior high school, because later in high school, I would have 2 of my favorite school years ever, like forever and ever. Thank you for joining me for another episode of The Adventures of Becky and Kathy. Join me next time, and if you like this at all, please press like, please press share, and next time, I think we'll look at one of our junior high school memories that kind of left Kathy very bleak because a girl called her out. I don't know what they call it now, but when I was growing up and someone called you out, it was a very bad thing. Take care and remember, be a loyal friend. The rewards last a lifetime.